you ashamed to be called a handyman? Is that the reason why you don't take the jump and start making tons of money? Do you think you are less of a person because you use your hands to make a living? Well, if that is you, those are some of the topics I'm going to be discussing today, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about the stereotype, your typical handyman stereotype. He usually drives a beater, run down pickup, paint stains everywhere, just about to fall apart. Probably dirty, never showers, smells, plumber's crack, hardly ever shows up to his appointments, and when he does crappy work. The customer is usually not happy with the work, so they call and text him back and asking him to come back and fix it, but he never replies back, he never calls back, and usually he's never to be found again. That is your typical handyman, and that is going to be your competition. This is why I'm extremely successful, because it's really not hard to compete against your typical handyman. Most people who go through those experiences, especially they do crappy work and they never call back or they never finish, those people, the second time around, they try to find somebody else. They take a little more time, they do some research, they look for online reviews, or they ask somebody they know who they use for their handyman work. And that is where you come in, because you are not your typical handyman. To be honest, it doesn't really matter what kind of truck you drive, as long as you do good work, and more importantly, you actually show up to your appointments. You don't have to do amazing work. Construction, nothing is perfect. I guarantee you hardly anybody out there will do 100% on anything they do. If you don't notice their mistakes, it's simply because you're not experienced at doing what they are doing. But somebody else that has done it before, or they do it for a living, they can easily find the imperfections. So being a handyman, do you have to do amazing work? Does everything you do has to be perfect? No guys, it does not. Like I told you before, if this is the first time you're watching me, I started my handyman business without any experience. I can honestly tell you that when I first started, and even now, my work is not 100% perfect. I do my best, it looks amazing, and good enough, in my opinion, to get paid. If there are ever any deficiencies, or if the customer is not happy, I don't just leave and expect them to find out any issues. I usually ask them to check their work, make sure they are happy 100%, and then I collect my money. But even then, if I leave and they have any issues, I guarantee my work. Not because I'm licensed, I always did it this way. Because the way I thought about being a handyman is to do everything opposite to what I dislike of other handymen I hired in the past to do work for me. So I always guarantee my work. If the customer has an issue with anything at all, I will always come back and make it right. Even if it costs money out of my own pocket, even if I missed it and I didn't quote it right, or whatever wasn't included in the quote, but I was not clear enough, I come back and fix it. I make it right. I want the customer to be happy. Making your customer happy is going to be your main goal, because if he's happy, or her, they are going to call you back. They are going to refer you to his or her friends. They're going to leave you reviews, and that is the type of customer you want. So should you be ashamed to be called a handyman? In my honest opinion, no. If somebody asks me what I do for a living, I proudly say I'm a handyman. And if that person thinks less of me because I use my hands to make a living, I don't care. Because if you live your life caring what other people think about you, you are never going to live life. And that is a mentality that's going to set you back. If you're watching me right now, you're probably at work on your cell phone. You're probably at your other job wishing that you can take that step and start your own business, become a handyman. But are you afraid that of the title that you're going to be losing? Maybe you work at a cubicle because you went to college for 8, 12 years and got a PhD in liberal arts, and then you got a little title at some office making $30,000, $40,000 a year, and then you're afraid that you're gonna quit that life and then start doing changing toilets, faucets, cleaning pipes, sewers and stuff like that. And you think you're afraid of what your friends are gonna think of you because now you're using your hands to make more money, but then you're gonna be making 3-4 times as much money as you used to without any prior experience, without a college degree. You don't have to go into debt to get student loans to do this kind of work. I mean, come on, just go for it. That's what I did. You only live once. Do you want to get old and then look back and then be like, man, I should have done it, I should have started my handyman business, I could have made so much money? Don't be that guy. Just go for it. Just do it. It's not going to make you less of a person because all of a sudden you become a handyman. A handyman is just a title. To be honest, I don't really care what people call me as long as they pay me. And so yeah, the system is designed to make you think that way, because usually two things are going to keep you behind. Number one is going to be shame, and number two, it's going to be fear. If you try to step out of the system, to be your own boss, to be your own person, to think for yourself, to wake up, usually shame's gonna keep you from doing that, or fear. Fear because you think you're not gonna succeed, because you're gonna fail. But I gotta tell you, if you don't take any risks in life, you are never going to be successful. Are you gonna be comfortable? Of course you are, because you're gonna be doing the same thing you are doing right now. And is that making you happy? Is that making you a lot of money? I mean, I don't know. If you're watching me, most likely not. I can tell you, anybody can do this type of work. You don't have to be an expert. Your work is not going to be 100% perfect every single time you do something, and that is okay. The main thing you have to understand is stand behind your work. If you mess something up, fix it. Do not just ignore your customer. Do not call them back if they try calling you because they're not happy about something. And if you follow those tips, I can guarantee you are going to be successful. I'll be honest, guys, I probably make the same amount of money as most of my customers, or even more. And the stereotype, to be honest, you just gotta look presentable. Make sure you shower every once in a while. Make sure your shirts are long enough to cover your plumber's crack. And most importantly, stand behind your work. Show up when you say you are going to show up. And right there, that's over 90% of the effort that's going to make you successful at being a handyman. So anyways, guys, hopefully this gives you a perspective of feeling ashamed or not feeling ashamed. Like I said, as long as you don't look like you kill people for a living, I mean, you're gonna make it in this type of work. So any questions, comments, comment below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and as always, I will see you next time.